Hi, Microbehunter here, and today I'm going to show you a nice little microscope hack, and I'll be modifying an eyepiece in such a way that when you look through it, that you're going to see superimposed over the microscopic image. You can see superimposed, you can see whatever you want to have, and this can be sometimes quite useful, because what I want to do is I want to superimpose a rectangle over the image that I see, so that I know exactly what the camera is seeing, so it's more easy for me to take pictures through the microscope. I'm also going to show you a small arrow. Sometimes educational microscopes come with those, and I think the most useful thing is I'm going to show you how to make a reticle. That is a measurement thingy, so that you can measure out the specimens that you see under the microscope, and you do not need to buy an expensive micrometer slide for this. I'm going to show you how to do this just by a very simple calculation. So, and I'm going to be starting up PowerPoint right now, because what I'll be making is I'll be making those little plastic overhead foils. I'll be printing those, and by placing them into the back of the eyepiece, it's going to be projected, or not projected, it's going to be superimposed over the image. And I'm going to show you now how to make these things here. To superimpose an image, we need to turn an eyepiece around. The diameter of the inside diameter is a little bit more than about 20 millimeters in this specific case. So the disc has to be around 20 millimeters across. And where do you have to place the disc? That's now the really central question. It's going to be placed in the plane of focus. And if you turn it around, you can see that there's a little ledge there on the side of the eyepiece. And this is the so-called the field of view, and in this case it's 18 millimeters across. It's has a field of view of 18, a field number of 18, and there is this ledge there, and this ledge is 1 centimeter down from the edge of the eyepiece, and it's always 1 centimeter because this is where the objective will project the image, and this is where we have to place the disc. So a little bit warm-up exercise now. Let's draw the arrow. So I'm making a circle, and I'm adjusting the length and the width of the circle over the formatting possibility here on the right side. So I'm typing in 2 centimeters. So and don't forget one thing, it's really important that you adjust the paper size to A4 paper or letter size paper, depending on where you live, because otherwise there's going to be a rescaling when you print it. You don't want that. Yeah, so I changed the width of the circle, the line size, and then I'm simply adding an arrow, also making it look nice, and that's pretty much it. Now let's do the one with the rectangle in the center. The two pictures I have is the bottom one is the one taken with my mobile phone, and the top one taken with my camera. And now the circle has 18 millimeters across, because that is the field of view. So that's not the place where we're going to cut it out, but that's the place that we're actually seeing. And I'm going to now try to overlap these two, and I'm going to change the size of the photo that I took so that it matches the circle. Why is this important? That's important because otherwise we're going to get again a wrong scale. And so that is approximately the correct size. You can see that the circle, that's the field of view, and then the picture that I've seen. And now I'm going to, as a second step, I'm going to try to overlap the image that I took through my camera with this image here. So I also have to resize that. And in order to make this a little bit more easily visible, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit transparent. So first of all, let's reduce the size here. You see that it's quite a bit cropped out here. And I have to now do the following. I have to now make sure that this is exactly overlapping the image, because I'm going to be using this here as a basis to draw my rectangle. So I'm going to see over here, I'm going to change the transparency around so that I can look through the top layer a little bit. And when I do that, then it's much easier for me to overlap the images. Yeah, see, it's transparent. Once it's adjusted, what I'm going to do then is I'm going to delete the picture, and then I'm going to use this also as a possibility to draw the rectangle. So, and now I'm going to draw the rectangle around the whole thing. Yeah, and it's pretty much self-explanatory from now on. We have no fill, and we're going to set the frame color, the line color to black. and we can adjust everything, and then we're ready to go again. The scale bars should always show 0.1 millimeter. And what I'm going to do now is I'm simply going to multiply the 0.1 millimeter by the total magnification that I'm going to be using. So for the first case, the first scale bar, I'm going to change the length of the scale bar over here, and don't forget the units here, to 4 millimeters, 4 millimeters across, and this corresponds to a 40 times objective, because 0.1 millimeters times 40 is 4 millimeters. The second one I'm changing to 1 millimeter, so that is for my 10 times objective. And the third one I'm changing to 0.4 millimeters, because that's for my 4 times objective. So always the size of the scale bar that you want to show multiplied by the total magnification, that is the length that you have to be using. So basically I have to always check which objective am I using, and then I can use the corresponding scale bar. And I'm simply going to rearrange those. I'm going to just, that's now basically cosmetics that I'm doing right now, is I'm just moving those scale bars over into the circle here, and then later I'll also be adding a couple of labels, so it's easier for me to remember. Now I tried to do a real reticle with other smaller gradations, but because of the limited resolution of the printer, I think it's better simply to keep it as simple as possible, because we're already working quite it's already quite small. As a matter of fact, I couldn't even zoom in further. So yeah, as a next step I will be adding a couple of labels as well. So I simply type out those labels and then change the size, and then arrange this. So this is basically all of the scale bars show 0.1 millimeters, and this is going to be the label for all of those for all of those scale bars. I'm just looking around for a nice place for it to put. And then I decided later on as well, I might also be adding actually a scale bar for the 100 times objective as well. So I'll also be doing that. You get the idea. This is basically something that's a question of design right now. I think the really important thing here is that you know that whatever size of the scale bar you want to show, you have to multiply it by the total magnification that you're going to be showing. And that should be the length of this scale bar. So yeah, that is basically the scale bar now for the 100 times objective, and I'm just moving this around. So that is pretty much it. And then as a next step, I can start to print out the whole thing, and then we're going to see how well it works. Laser printer foil, don't confuse this with a normal overhead foil, because it should be heat resistant. And if you use the wrong foil, you are going to damage your printer. Already happened to me. I'm going to cut it out now, obviously. And the thing is I've made it like this, and attach those little ears here on the side, because they actually help me to retain the reticle inside the eyepiece. So I'm just folding it over like this, and then I can actually put it into the eyepiece, and it's easy to take out. And I don't need to glue it in or anything. It just stays in there on its own. Yeah, that's all there is to it. I just push it in like this, and we're ready to go. Let's test out the first one. How does the arrow look like? Here it is. That's it. That's how it looks like. Yeah, the plastic, of course, does not look so nice. There's scratches on it and all these things. Maybe you should clean it a little bit better. But you see that it actually works. And here, that is the little rectangle. So I now know exactly what place the camera is going to take a picture of. That is very convenient, I think. It's not quite centered, the whole thing, but I think you get the idea, right? And of course, I'm most eager to know how well does the reticle work, and this is how it looks like. And it works also well. I should have moved it a little bit further down, I think, because it kind of touches the top too much. Yeah, and now I can use this as a means to easily estimate the size, and it looks quite okay, I think. Also, even though the printing is so small, actually, I might even add further lines and subdivisions here. Yeah, it should work out with a printer resolution. Yeah, but I think I'm just going to leave it for right now. Yeah, of course, you can change the magnification around, and when you focus back and forth, The image, of course, goes in and out of focus, but the rest stays in focus. So, of course, you don't believe me maybe. Who says that the line length is correct? So I'm going to show you now, because I'm going to overlap now a measurement, a micrometer for measurement. And look at the 40 times, the 40x. Look, it's exactly, correct here. And one division is 0.01 millimeters, so it's and 10 of these small divisions is 0.1 millimeters. So you look at the 40 times, exactly. So it works, and you have now the proof that the math is correct as well. And then I said, okay, that's a little bit dirty, the background, because of the overhead foil. So what I've done is I've simply cut away the rest. That is not necessary. It's not very nicely done, I admit. But if you use something like this, then you have the measurement bars on the top, and on the bottom you have a clear a see-through window, which gives you a better image quality. I think that's just playing around now. I'll leave up the rest for you. You can change your designs around, and you can, if you want to, even send me pictures of what you've done. That's actually a pretty good idea. Send me some pictures of your designs, and I'll include them in an upcoming video, okay? So that's it for today. Hope you liked it. And there's a totally unexpected thing how this can be beneficial. Is if you're completely out of luck, and if you cannot see any microbes at all, well, actually you can. I wish you all the best. Happy microbe hunting as always, and see you around next time. Bye bye.